Здравствуйте, товарищи! Как у вас сегодня дела? Turn 6 is upon us. Let's take a look. So, let's go to the replay. And this was our draw. Perfect. Very good, very good. And then we see Mayondor going for the theocracy. Interesting. I guess the question is whether this EG will be taken. But if he goes for the theocracy, it looks like he will play it. And yeah, I've actually seen the turn already, so it's a little ungenuine to try to guess now. So if you want to guess the turn, I guess you can pause. I more or less know that he will go for another printing press. So develop it, go for another printing press, and I don't remember exactly. Maybe take those yellows here. Maybe EG. All looks good. Let's see. He has a fighting band, printing press, and the bread and circus for 2. Wow. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, I didn't see or remember this. So this is interesting. I mean, that's just very good cards here. And that's, let's see, is there a Kubaton in the game? That's always a little more excusable. Isn't it the first? Oh no, it's the second printing bread and circus. But you already got this, and there's a theology also on 1. Maybe he thinks he needs the strength also. Yeah. Interesting decision, I would say. This bread and circus for 2. Missing out on a lot of potential resources, but okay. That's what he did. Then let's take a look at the card row first. Draw some cards. Interestingly, I didn't even discuss it. He didn't seed, which is super bad for us. I was so confident that he would seed, and some conclusions from it. So with this theocracy play, and even more so with the bread and circus for 2, we can expect some happiness events. So immigration and rebellion are pretty likely. I think with the way he played before, strength events are kind of unlikely. He didn't take knights, he didn't take Nostradamus, so I don't think it's, at least not the very impactful strength events like uncertain borders. I mean, maybe Reign of no, I can't imagine Reign of Terror and not taking Nostradamus. That must have would have implied for him that he just assumes that nobody, or that both players don't do anything for strength. I can't imagine that. So, long story short, strength events kind of unlikely, and also I think colony is kind of unlikely because, at least in this deck, yeah, which is all events by him. Since, yeah, they couldn't bid, so he would only bid against me. Yeah, maybe he didn't have things he wanted to see. There's not so much left if you leave out strength events and colonies. Then there's, yeah, some random events. We just drew the Dark Ages. Cultural influence is nice. He wouldn't play the new deposits, but I think I have them in hand. Yeah, there's definitely some implications by not seeding, and it's kind of sad for me because, yeah, now it will be harder to win this weighty territory, and let's see, I'm curious. So let's first try to see the card row. don't see the entire card row, but I think if I see these now, I also see the first turn. And let's try to think about the first turn without seeing the card row. I think in most cases it won't matter for the turn with those 4 CA and this in hand. So yeah, interesting question is he going to seed or not? I would guess no. I would guess he won't. I would guess he wants to. So they skipped taking Alchemy last turn, and I think it would be a crazy good turn to just build a warrior, or maybe two, and then upgrade those. But they didn't take it, so we will see knights, I think. I think we are going to see knights now. And there's not, yeah. What are the civil actions? Develop knights, play frugality, so knights, 2 times populate, and then just build warrior knight. And then there's 1 CA left, which is probably just EG. Maybe the rich land, but EG looks fine here. Yeah, something like that. I think after skipping alchemy, there's just not that many options. The question is if you really want to populate twice, you could also just populate once and assume there's no reds in. It really doesn't look like reds the way we all play, the way especially Mayonder plays from our perspective. So then it can be just maybe they don't even need to populate and just take so knights. Yeah, maybe they want to get rid of this frugality from hand and then just 2 yellow cards, e.g. rich land. They could also still just upgrade this and only build 1 knight. One warrior. Yeah, not going for knights now is super awkward. I think after having skipped the alchemy again, I repeat myself, I guess. So yeah, let's look at the turn. I would think they go for those knights and then it's probably populate once and take 2 yellows. 1, 2, bam bam, something like that. This card looks important for them, so we will have to consider taking it. If it's on 1 civil action. It's not that important for us. Okay, it is the frugality, it's the knights, it's 1 pair, and another population, and EG, yeah. I guess the last populating is a little debatable, unless they have drawn reds and already put them in. That might be reds. They might have them in hand. Or they might think that someone else is gambling. But yeah, for our turn, those cannot be red. So very unlikely reds, I think, after he just didn't populate in his turn. And we always want to seed. Now the question is, what do we seed? So that's easy, we won't seed Dark Ages. I think we are on the same page with this. We might seed the inhabited territory, or we might seed the barbarians, since the barbarians, let's say we won't lose the barbarians, but the question is if it's better for us that he potentially loses a population, or that we potentially can bid and win on the inhabited. Yeah. My gut feeling says I want this inhabited in a little more than the barbarians. They will maybe end up in the same deck anyway. But I would say, I think if it was to be separated into decks, I want this earlier than later, because the later it goes, the more likely is that they will have this warfare already, so their third MA, which is not unimportant for building on stuff, on colonies. And maybe there's even some scenarios where this inhabited gets revealed before H2. Highly unlikely. it would mean that he now really has to start using his political action twice. Then it's possible, I guess. But yeah, it's quite unlikely. But there is some scenario. So yeah, long story short, I think the gut feeling tells me to put this inhabited territory in. Let's go with this. So it is in uncertain borders. Crazy. Okay, by now I'm a little confused by how he plays. I'm actually happy that I'm dodging this. And a little unhappy. Wasn't I strongest once? I could have won that. Said when I won the foray, right? I could have won this uncertain borders. Okay. Now he's just. Yeah, okay. I don't know. It's super weird. He put that in. And he just lost that. Feels super random. It feels. Yeah, okay. I don't know. This feels super bad somehow. It's just free yellow for them. It's so impactful, and he just lost one without contesting it. What? I guess it is what it is. What do we do? Something that I would like to do is this. We can defend an aggression. It's important to note. We lack rocks big time. Second iron not inside. I think the game's going overall pretty well for them. And I would be certain that they are super far ahead if they had alchemy now, not those random knights. Does it mean we have to get stronger? To lose the reign of terror or something? There was a Nostradamus on one. I'm not getting over this, sorry. What was he doing? I feel like all my thoughts about possible events are just now obsolete. So this is a slot machine. This is just a slot machine now. Anything. That can be anything. This can be reds in my book now. this is this is a potential red. So maybe populate twice. um, it's something I want to do. Spend this yellow card before it's gone. It is possibly gone next turn. That's -6, and we three of us have to take 3 cards in total, or it's gone. So it's quite likely. Um, I don't know. What about this warfare? What about this one population? I think those two are always correct. I don't want to go for the monarchy so late. We have our military action fixed. And the 1CA, there will be H2 governments soon. It's very likely that they are very soon, and it's very likely that yeah, they might take a republic and go for the revolution, or also the revolution for the Conmon. So they might contest the first one, but it's a little awkward for them at least. And I don't think that he is willing to go for one after the late theocracy. What's the rest here? The rest of the turn. So I don't really want to take this cultural heritage. Ah, by the way, if we take an irrigation, it's gone, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, why not irrigation actually? There's a Suez Canal. And we might gain inhabited territory, and then irrigation is not that bad. And now for the last civil action, just populate or warfare. Why not warfare? Then we are not weakest. Since we just learned, can also still be a reign of terror or crusades. I mean, crusades I could understand. I sometimes do that as an event I'm willing to lose. Or to risk losing, not like I know that I'm gonna lose it, but it's okay if it happens. But uncertain war is not okay. Uncertain wars is just not okay. This is game losing in one-on-one. Right. I think it is this. This gets this out. We can't definitely rely on my undertaking the cultural heritage. I guess he should. I guess it's also a good card for him, but we don't know if he does that. So I don't really think it's good for us with 4 CA. It's a little sad that the Code of Laws, the second, didn't drop at all. Yet, at least. Yeah, but it will look like we are going to have something like 14 signs in our first turn of H2, or real first turn of H2 when the row is full of H2 cards, and then it's. Yeah, I think it's quite likely that there's a government with 4 governments. I never calculated it, but I think it feels like super likely that one of them is there. And we would be happiest with the Republic right now. Let's see. I would love to, yeah, to take this masonry actually, but not for 2 civil actions. There's also 2 architectures in 3-player, right? Yeah. They are so good to build all of these wonders. Suez Canal can be extremely good. The railroad can be super good, I think, in. Yeah, actually, in any player count. I like this wonder. It makes an early oil an almost auto win. If you have a railroad and yeah, like your first turn of H3, there's an oil and you can upgrade it. It's just, yeah, one of the best things that can happen maybe in the game. And then even without this scenario, it's just decent. So I like the railroad. But the other wonder we look at is Suez, of course. Eiffel Tower, Louvre are pretty situational, can be good in situations, but they are pretty situational. But not in our situation. We don't have iron. We don't have. We don't need a rock dump. You want an Echo Wonder. Yeah, one of those 2. Kremlin's also situational. But for other situations, I think then those other 2 wonders. This might be good for them, for example, because they don't really have signs to get for additional CA and MA, but they have a lot of rocks. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm very happy with this irrigation. I think we could also consider just populating doing this. I mean, we can also consider just taking a breakthrough or something. It's also such an important card in this deck. But with doing this, with taking irrigation, I think we incentivize Myondor just to take this breakthrough, won't reach them. Now we can think about if that's bad for us, if he gets it, but it feels like a little awkward to me to spend two civil actions on this breakthrough. Since we only have 4, we really want to be a little considerate and efficient of our civil actions. And then there's the question of this irrigation. This irrigation, is it harosh or is it blyat? Who knows? Hmm. I guess, no. One thing I wanted to start considering is 3. He will never have those extra draws on his turn, and he will, I think, almost always, whether I take it or not, have the extra draws on my turn, on my political action. I don't think this changes that. That would be maybe a small thing to consider. One other small thing to consider, I just realized. Oh, but with the warfare we should be safe, I guess. Can go down to 5 even. And have 4 MA. Yeah. Being able to bid for this colony without being afraid of them. But they only have 2. I'm not afraid of that being aggressions, to be honest. I'm afraid of that H2 draw. That's something we need to look out for. But this being aggressions, I think, is... H1 aggressions are also in a lot of cases just ignorable. Maybe not the plunder in this case specifically, but a lot of times you can just ignore them. But anyway, even if they had an aggression, we should be safe with bidding 1 and even playing this, and we are down to 5 and can still defend with just 4 cards. So that's that. Irrigation or not to irrigation or not to irrigation? That is the decisive question here. It gives us something to do next turn, yeah? I mean, if we don't take that, what do we do? Nothing. Except take cards. So in the other scenario, what we would do is probably take iron from 2 to 3 and develop upgrade ones. And then we start the iron. Well, I think this looks like a game where coal might be yeah, alright. Can put in a late new deposits and hope for a rather early coal. There's also the Suez Canal possibility, and I kind of hope and assume that we are in a good spot to win this weighty territory. It will be interesting to see how much they are willing to bid for that. They have this woman, right? So they can bid a knight. They have this, it's 3, then let's say 3 rocks, they are at 5. We can only go to 4. Yeah, maybe they win that, but will be interesting to see. Maybe they bid 5. Maybe they bid 4. Even with 4 they win with this knight. Probably better if they bid and win this than this. It's not so good if they just win both of them. We should hope for drawing some more. We've only drawn one in a lot of draws. Right? Yeah, only one. Two are gone. Yeah, I remember. I just remember. I have PTSD of them having two after playing Hammurabi all game. Ah, this game is going way too well for them. This yellow cube. I don't know. Feels like I'm playing with against a team with this yellow cube here. Anyway, I will stick with the irrigation, I guess. I'm not entirely certain if it's better than just populating. I think it's okay. With any colony that gives yellow cubes, it doesn't necessarily have to be this. There can be a colony. This is remember this is a randomizer. This is possibly a colony. Um, yeah. Then irrigation is already can be good into the late game. I also like to sometimes just build an irrigation and then have 3 workers in this field of expertise, which is Nahrung. What's Nahrung? Food. It's not exactly the same. Whatever. Um, what I just had a thought about H3. Ah, yeah, there's no red cross. That's what I wanted to check. Okay, yeah, that's a turn. I will stick to this irrigation. I think it's fine. Let's see our draw. 1. Yeah, at least 1. Would have been better if it was 3, but it's 1. And we see Raiders and Court Arms. 2 events that don't really matter, I think. Yeah, being the weakest for Court Arms, some turns in H2 can be very painful. Raiders are just like, whatever. Oh, 1 card. So we can go to 5. And then it will be, right? Yeah, 3, 4, 5. Then will be interesting whether they bid 5. If they bid 5 with a colony card, I rage quit. I just fucking rage quit. Okay. See you in the next turn. Yeah.